Greetings to all our listeners. I am Talaya. Today I'll be interviewing our DC Mayor candidate, Michael Campbell, on behalf of SOY, Saving Our Youth. Please tell us a little about yourself and why you think you are the right person to be mayor of the District of Columbia.
So, as you stated, my name is Michael Campbell. I am also a pastor of Purpose Driven Kingdom Ministries. I have also been the committee chairperson of the National Action Network for the committee Rising Voices in Politics. And what has inspired me to run for mayor of this city is I feel like our city has forgotten the lost. Our city has forgotten those who are in poverty. Our city has forgotten those who are struggling. And I feel like our city has become divided between the haves and the have-nots. And right now, the mayor that we have isn't doing much about it. Education is failing. Crime is rising. We can't afford to live in our homes. And we need fresh, innovative ideas to fight these problems.
Do you think you can win this election? If so, why?
I believe that I can win this election, number one, because I believe that I can identify with our voters. I believe that I have experienced the same problems and issues that our voters face. I have experienced homelessness. I know what it's like to work making minimum wage and trying to pay rent. I know what it's like to have to go to school and not getting the adequate education that you need, to have teachers that don't care about you, to feel unsafe while I'm in my classroom. So I believe that I can identify with these things firsthand, as opposed to folk who have either just recently moved to the city or folk who have, how can I say this, grew up in the city in different environments.
What do you think it would take to reduce gun violence in DC?
Well, I think that's a multifaceted problem. You have to look at a lot of different things that contribute to the gun violence. Number one, our city has to really take a deep look and really invest in mental health. And that's mental health throughout our youth, throughout our young adults, throughout our elderly, throughout our police force, in our education system. We need to really, really invest heavily in mental health. Also, poverty is a big contribution to our crime. As I just stated before, minimum wage is $15.50. When you look at the rent, the average rent is $2,000 a month in DC. We just can't afford to live in our homes. People resort to things like stealing, robbing folk, carjacking, selling drugs. Those type of things come because people are trying to take care of themselves. People are trying to feed their families. People aren't educated to get those top dollar jobs. So we got to think of things that we can do. We got to institute ready to work programs in our high schools. Let's train our students to be ready for CDL licenses. Train our students to be ready for real estate licenses. Train our students to be ready for computer programming and all these type of things. We have to really invest in our youth while they are young, so that when they get to these ages, they won't be resorting to gangs and violence.
How do you think you can help close the achievement gap?
Well, number one of my first things on my platform is to raise minimum wage to $20 an hour. Number one, we have to make sure that everyone has a livable wage, that no one is working in our city and is experiencing poverty. That's number one. We got to make sure that no one is experiencing homeless. We got to really close this homeless gap. Our city is one of the leaders in the nation when it comes to homelessness. 80% of our 8th graders are behind when it comes to math. So all of these things are things that we have to look at and try to figure out, why is it such a gap here in our city? Where are we failing? Who has failed? And what can we do about it? For one, I recognize that as a mayor, I am not educated enough to lead our school system. Our mayor needs to relinquish control over the school system and have someone who's qualified to lead the school system. That's one place we can start.
Are you familiar with the Neighborhood Engagement Achieve results and the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement?
No.
Okay. Next question. How can you improve the educational system?
Well, as I said, we need to relinquish control. We need to institute those career readiness programs, those career training programs in our high schools. I also plan to raise the age where you can drop out from 16 to 17. Studies show that the longer a student stays in school, the less that student is likely to commit a crime. Studies also show that when our students get out of high school, they look for a job that pays them a livable wage and usually can't find one. So we need to make sure that our students are trained. I believe that's one of the biggest things that we need to invest in. There used to be a time where you can go to school and you would learn how to do mechanical work. You can go to school, you can learn how to do plumbing. You can go to school, you can learn how to do these different types of things. And we need the HVAC training. We need to go ahead and we need to really invest in these things once again for our youth.
Do you think we need trades back in school?
Absolutely.
That is all the questions I have for you. I want to thank our guest, Mr. Campbell, for joining us today.